tape measure in hand, that means something must be going on around here, right? We are out, we're gonna measure the garden together this morning. We have a project that we're about to start working on, and I need to get some measurements so we can order what we need. So here's the deal. Let me move where the sun is working in my favor. We have been at this property for 2 years, and the first year we did the big garden over with my mom and stepdad, and we've still done that every year, still plan to do that. But last year we put a garden space right here off of our back porch, and it's where we've been doing things like working on organic gardening, learning more about that. And it's just nice to sit on the porch and see the garden right there, or run out and grab a tomato, grab a cucumber. However, we have our chickens right here, and when we let them out to free range, where do you think they want to go? They want to go to the garden. I mean, why not, right? They want to snack on things. That's what chickens do. They forage and they scratch and they peck and they give dust baths and do all the things, and they like to do that in the garden. And excuse me, sir. Last year, as things were growing in that space, we always let the chickens out. When we were out with them, we'd try to shoo them out of the garden. They'd still get in it. They'd still get snacks. It's just not the most feasible thing to do, is to constantly be shooing them out of the garden. So what else could we do? Well, we thought about getting one of the electric net type fences, and we have all of this space, and we thought, well, we can just move them around. We can let them out in that, and I would still like to do that, but one thing at a time, right? Well, we'll have to save the money up for that, because what we decided was probably the better option right now is to get some kind of fencing to go around the garden, and then the chickens can just be out, be wherever they want to be, and there'll just be something to discourage them from getting into the garden. We also have rabbits that we're trying to keep out of the garden. I'm hoping that this that we've been looking at will help with the rabbits. We'll see. Now, we don't really have deer right here in this spot, or any big animals that we need to keep out of the garden, so I want to do something, just a short fence. The chickens could fly over it, yes. I need to find some wood to knock on, but usually when they meet something like a fence, they will just go the other direction and go find something else to do. So we're gonna measure and get this project going, get it underway, because there's things growing in the garden, and we need to protect it. That's food for our family. I know that, you know, the rabbits need food, but there's plenty of other options for them. Not my garden. Peter Rabbit's been in the garden, as Wyatt has been saying. Bring me the end of it. The hole in.
Everything is not pushed down there.
Okay.
It will suck it up.
Think you could trap them for me? Yeah. These are our potatoes, and those on the front row that you see me working on right now, they're a little smaller. Those are actually from some of our potatoes from last year. I found a box in the back of my closet, a cardboard box that apparently I had left some potatoes in for seed potatoes this year and forgot about it. And there they were, sprouting, ready to go in the ground. So those are a couple of weeks behind the others because I forgot that I had them. But they're growing, they're doing well. Those back 2 rows are seed potatoes that I bought from Tractor Supply. They're Kennebecks. Then those right there that are smaller are from our potatoes last year. They did so well for us last year that I'm excited to see how they do this year. These are the red potatoes that we grew last year. I'll link that video in case you haven't seen it. And then right there on that front that looks a little bit different, that's the end of that row with the new ones that have gone in from ours. This is something my mama had, and they were from grocery store potatoes, and they started to sprout, so we planted them. I love the way potatoes look, y'all. The green, they are just so lush and happy and growing well. Let's look at these blackberries while we're out here. The pretty white flowers are starting to fall off the blossoms, and we can actually see berries. I've got the neighbor's dog stirred up, y'all. You can actually see the berries forming. We have a lot of wild blackberries growing out here on this side of the property. And we took some of these and moved them up by the house, closer to the house last year, and they're doing great. About a week or so ago, Justin said he drove by his brother's property when you could see all the white flowers. Y'all, the blackberries are doing well this year because I have seen these beautiful white flowers just shining everywhere. And he said that there were a lot on his brother's property. And then when we were talking to my brother-in-law, and he told me that he also has a lot of elderberry over there. So I really want to make some blackberry jelly this year. That's something that Mama would always do, and it was my favorite. Papa would go out and pick wild blackberries, and Mama would make blackberry jelly. So that is on my to-do list this year. We've been watching them. Also saw some honeysuckle over here. This is why we have rabbits. We have really worked on dwindling this pile down. Y'all have been with us as we've worked on that. It has gotten significantly smaller since we've been here, just a little at a time. But then there's things like those blackberries that I'm like, let's not get rid of those. And the elderberry that's in here, let's not get rid of that. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers, right? If I want to keep all the elderberry, the goldenrod, the blackberries that are growing here, I have to just acknowledge that rabbits are going to live in it. We've done a couple of different things over the years when it comes to trying to keep like rabbits out of the garden. I know we talked about that, but if y'all got any ideas, I'd love to hear them, any suggestions, things that work from you. For you, we've got this thing that I had put it out here by the chickens because we had caught coyotes on the trail camera walking by. So I'd moved it out here. I don't know that it really deters the coyote though. So I'm probably gonna move it back to the garden, but it's a sensor. When something gets close, it flashes and makes sound. I mean, maybe it works with a coyote, but we haven't seen them coming, at least not coming through the yard anymore. I know they're here, but we've not seen them coming through the yard anymore. So maybe I'll take that and put it in the garden or get a second one because it does work well. When I cut the kids' hair, I'll take the hair clippings and put those around the garden. But if you've got any other suggestions, things that work for you to keep rabbits out of the garden, I'd love to hear it. I'm a little surprised, honestly, that I still have cabbage, but fingers crossed the rabbit leaves it alone. Rabbits. The peppers are looking great. I was a little worried transplanting them. They might have some transplant shock, but they're doing well. The peas are doing well. My beans did get eaten down. So from here all the way to about right there, something has eaten the beans, and even those back there have nibbles on them, so I may have to replant the beans. Tomatoes are good. We're gonna get those the T-posts put in and do a Florida weave on those. We'll work on that this weekend. We've got squash coming up. We've got flowers coming up. We have volunteer plants up from seeds that got left in the garden last year. Just looking at it like this without a bunch of close-ups, it may not look like much right now, but I can see it. I can see it happening. Just give it time. All of these wildflowers came up from seed that was dropped last year. I think they just get more beautiful by the day. It's that time of year, y'all. Lots of work happening here around our little homestead. Projects, projects, things happening, and I love it. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for being here and being a part of it.